Serve your estate. To serve your estate, what is that? Maybe it is when you have a lot of money and give generously to all the poor and needy. Or maybe you have a car, and you bring old ladies to the service and take them back home. And if you had a big house, you would probably have one room enough to live in, and let the homeless people live in the other rooms. And if you had your own beds, you'd only grow strawberries and give them to everyone at church. Let them make themselves sweet jam and eat it with thanksgiving all winter long. That is how you should serve the Lord and your neighbor with your property. But where can we get more money, a bigger house, and a bigger car? This kind of reasoning occurred to an older couple more than once. What about the wife? Ephraim once said, "The kids have grown up and flown away like little birds, and you and I are left alone. Let's buy some property and serve the Lord." "It's a good thing," my wife said, "but where can we get so much money?" "We'll ask the children, Daryushka. Didn't we raise them for nothing, not getting enough sleep and not eating enough? If everyone gives a little, we'll have enough for a cottage. I think our children won't refuse us old folks." And indeed they did, and soon Ephraim and Daria bought a nice house with a small garden and vegetable garden. The couple were as happy as children, and rolled up their sleeves and set to work. They got tired of washing, cleaning, scraping, painting, whitewashing, gluing, but they were satisfied with their work. The house has changed, became cozy and well-groomed. "Well?" the husband asked his helper. "What family and kids will we invite to our little paradise this summer?" Daria made a long groaning sound and raised her head tiredly. "Oh, no," she murmured, "not this summer. Have you forgotten what little children can invent? I'm afraid that all our labors will be nothing but ashes after such a rest. Besides, we'll have a lot of work to do in the garden. And kids don't care where to walk, in the fields, on the road or in the seedbeds. They will trample everything." Of course, Ephraim was well aware that plants and children are often not comparable, and that children are capable of destroying plants at any stage of development. And he wouldn't want anyone making bouquets out of apple blossoms, playing hide and seek in a potato patch, or rolling a pumpkin down the road instead of a ball. Yes, perhaps it would be better if the children were resting somewhere else. It was a difficult time, the sowing season. Ephraim and Daria were digging hard, so that bloody blisters appeared on their hands. But they did not back down from their great desire to serve their estate. "Let's grow a lot of vegetables," they reasoned, "and give to the needy. A lot of work in the vegetable garden in the spring." They even had no time to go to the service, the time is hurried. The garden is a very important thing. If you do not plant in time, you will not get a good harvest. But our venerable couple was not lazy, they worked from dawn till dawn. And when everything was planted and sown, it was time to water. The days were hot and they had to carry water from the river. It was hard work. "I think, Daria," Ephraim said one day after work, "we must figure out how much crops we will gather in the fall and to whom we will give them." Yes. I've already thought about it," my wife spoke animatedly. "Take Terenti, for example. He's a good brother. He does not live well, and his family is not small, and besides, he is often sick. We should give him some currants and carrots and cabbage. Have you forgotten how he said that you and I were doing nothing?" Ephraim remembered. "I'm busting my back, and he's going to be content with the fruits of our idle occupation? No. We must find someone else." "Someone else?" Daria wondered. "Like who?" "Like Makar's family." "Oh, no," Daria waved her hand in protest and exclaimed. "I once knitted mittens for his children last year. I wanted to do a good deed." And his wife Ksenia only once said thank you, and as if she immediately forgot that she had done good. No gratitude is not good enough. And who else can we have in need, except old Maria? Ephraim put his hands to his temple. "A good sister," Daria remarked, "but she has grown children, even though they are unbelievers, still let them take care of their mother properly. So Yefim and Daria could not identify the one in need that evening. The question, who to give and serve, was raised by the couple every day. And each time the proposed candidate turned out to be unworthy for one reason or another. Now when Ephraim and Daria occasionally went out to worship, the same question about the needy occupied their minds. That was why they could not listen quietly to the sermon and pray. It turns out it is so hard to do good by reasoning. In the end, all reasoning ended with the fact that the harvest would benefit themselves, because so much labor was put into it, and no one would be able to appreciate it. In the meantime, the summer had passed and the time of the harvest was approaching. Let's take a look at what Yefim and Daria had grown. First, the cucumbers died. When they were in bloom, a mole dug his hole under the roots of the cucumbers and they wilted, drooping dejectedly with their leaves. Tasty, sweet strawberries were to the taste of frogs and thrushes. Apparently, people aren't the only ones who like to eat strawberries. In general, the frogs and thrushes left no berries for Yefim and Daria. But the field mice liked carrots and beets. They so skillfully gnawed out the core of vegetables that only the walls remained. But this was not the end of all the troubles. Colorado potato beetle ate all the leaves, and birds in the sky ate berries currants with pleasure. Young apples were eaten by worms, and plums and cherries were attacked by aphids in spring. So, they did not have a good harvest. No one knows why it all happened this way. But Yefim and Daria know. It is good when people know why and for what purpose God allows grief and misfortune. Of course, it was bitter for our heroes to watch their crops die, but they realized that they themselves were responsible for it. There was no love in their hearts, which is why they could not find a worthy needy person. What a pity that love cannot be grown in a seedbed. But it can grow in a good heart, where the Word of God lives, and bear much fruit even when you do not have much money, a big house with a garden, or a wide car.